In this video, I'll show you an easy way to blur the background in a photo. I'll be using Adobe Photoshop 2023 for this, but you can do the same with any version which has the Select Subject feature. I'll start by duplicating the image layer, which I'm going to use to isolate the man. To duplicate the layer, right-click and select the duplicate option in the menu. Alternatively, you can press Command and J on your Mac keyboard or Control and J on a Windows PC. Next, go to the Select menu and choose the Subject option. Photoshop then identifies and selects the main subject in the photo, which in this image is the man. You can now see the marching ants showing around the selection. This is a good starting point, but there are some problems around the edges which I'll show you how to fix in a minute. The other thing to mention about this selection is that I really want to include the parcel in the foreground. If I blur that any more, it's going to look out of place. To add the parcel to this selection, I'll use the Quick Selection tool found in the Tools palette. Because I'm adding to an existing selection, I need to make sure that I use the Add to Selection icon in the toolbar. Now I can paint over the parcel by clicking and dragging with my mouse. As I do this, the selection snaps into place around the parcel, and I can then release the mouse button. My next step is to convert the selection into a mask attached to this top layer. This is how we isolate the man on the layer so that he isn't affected when we blur the background. To add the mask to the layer, click the Add Layer Mask icon at the bottom of the Layers window. This converts the active selection into a mask and the marching ants are removed. If I hide the background layer, we now see a checkered pattern. This is showing us the areas that are transparent because the mask is hiding them. Now let's zoom in to 100% magnification so you can see where the selection wasn't accurate. This is where we still see some areas of the original background image, but you might also find areas where the subject is being partially hidden. The way we fix these is with the brush tool. To do this, it's a good idea to have the hardness and opacity both set to 100%. It makes it easier to paint with precision. Now we can paint onto the mask with black to remove the unwanted background. If you find you remove parts of the mask in error, switch to painting with white on the mask. Black will hide the areas of the layer, whilst white will reveal them. When you're happy the mask is making an accurate selection of the subject, you can make the background layer visible again. Now we'll duplicate the background layer a second time. As before, right-click on the layer and then choose the duplicate option. The next step is to load the mask that we've just created as a selection. The way to do this is hold down the Command key on a Mac or the Control key on a Windows PC and then click on the layer mask. You can then see the marching ants appear around the subject. We're going to use this to remove the man from our duplicate image layer. But before we do that, we first need to expand the selection. We can do this using the Select menu and choosing the Modify and then Expand option. You'll then see this dialog where you can enter the number of pixels to expand the selection by. I'll use 10 pixels for this image as it's quite a large image. The reason we're expanding the selection is to avoid leaving any of the man's outline when we remove him. Then with the duplicate layer selected, choose the Edit menu and the Content Aware Fill option. The green area you see in this dialog is being sampled and will be used to replace the man. Over to the right side of the dialog, you can then see a preview of how the image will look when the man's removed. Don't worry that it doesn't look convincing at this stage. Most of this will be hidden by the man in our other layer. All I then need to do to remove the man is click the OK button. If I turn off the top layer, you can see the area has been filled. We can then clear the selection by clicking the Select menu and using the Deselect option. The next step is to convert our background layer to a smart object. First, be sure to select it in the Layers window by clicking it. Then use the Convert for Smart Filters option in the Filter menu. The next step is to apply the Gaussian Blur filter to the layer, which you'll find in the Filters menu. After adjusting the level of the blur, you can close the dialog. If I hide our blurred background layer, you can see the change this has made. But notice this packaging to the right hand side of the frame. It's also being blurred and it doesn't look quite right. That's because it's a similar distance from the camera as the man. The way we can fix this is by adding a new empty layer mask to the smart object. We can then select the gradient tool and use a black to white or black to transparent gradient. Now we can use this to draw a gradient on the right side of the layer. This prevents that side of the image from being blurred, and because it's a gradient, it fades the effect. After that, we can adjust the level of blur that's being applied to the background. Let's compare that to the original image now. As you can see, we've produced a nicely blurred background, helping to highlight the man. Now, if you're wondering why I used a smart object for the background and what else you can do with these, watch this video next. Thanks for watching today, and I hope you enjoyed the video. Don't forget to subscribe if you haven't already, and I'll see you soon for another video.